All I can say after hearing your opening statement is, wow. You guys never miss an opportunity to blame your own incompetence on Joe Biden.
Ouch! Jim Mcgovern really came out swinging at Republicans in today's committee meeting. He must have spent the weekend taking notes on the rap beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, because he seems like he's about to drop a Republican diss album in these clips. Make sure you stick around till the end, because there's a great back and forth between him and one of MAGA's finest, good old Chip Roy.
One thing, I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One!
Let me tell you, that clip is gonna come around to bite him in the rear end by the end of this video. But first, back to Jim Mcgovern's diss track real quick.
I mean, you blame Joe Biden for everything. I'm surprised you didn't blame him for the earthquake. It is unbelievable to me that it has taken this long for this Republican majority to do their job. The incompetence and the indifference is stunning. I mean, I really can't believe it. I don't expect much of this Republican majority, but this is really beyond the pale.
Crazy to see MAGA Republicans and Democrats on the same side about anything, but even crazier when they're both agreeing and complaining about the Republicans' biggest priority, obstructing literally any legislation.
This is our second Rules Committee meeting of the week, and it's the fourth time, let me repeat, the fourth time a bill to reauthorize FISA has come before our committee. I mean, give me a break. The American people want effective government. What my Republican friends are giving them, quite frankly, is a circus.
Oh, come on now. That's a little harsh. To the circus. I don't think any clown worth his big-toed shoes would ever want to be compared to Marjorie Taylor Greene. At least at the circus, you get entertained. With the Republican House, you're only getting lies, broken promises, and shouting.
Look at us. Look how compassionate we are to help people. But what the hell are we actually doing? And here we are, and I'm in an empty chamber because everybody wants to go home and have their turkey, and we haven't done anything. Literally, the House Republican majority. What we've accomplished this year is the following. We have increased the debt of the United States $4 to $6 trillion. Check. What else have we done? Well, we've passed 2 continuing resolutions of the Nancy Pelosi spending bills and priorities. That's what we've done.
And to think that was back in November, and yet the same sentiments are basically still true today.
This is the most ineffective, incompetent majority, I think, in American history. Full stop. It has been nearly an entire year almost, since anything that we have done in the Rules Committee has gone to the President's desk. Republicans have tried and failed to pass their own rules 7 times this Congress. 7 times this House has been stuck at a standstill because of their infighting. Before this Congress, it had been 20 years since a rule failed. It's been 50 years, half a century, since we've seen this many rules go down.
Damn, half a century? That's almost a whole Chip Roy.
And Republicans have done it 7 times. 1 or 2, 3 times maybe, that's just incompetence. But 7? 7 is a disaster. 7 is paralysis. It means weeks and weeks of sitting around doing nothing because Republicans can't get their house in order and do their job, and do the job that they were sent here to do. Now,
yeah, imagine not doing your job at all for over a year and still collecting a fat paycheck. Wait a minute. Siphoning taxpayer money while doing nothing to contribute to your job responsibilities. Are House Republicans on welfare? I don't know, guys. Might be time to tell these moochers to get a real job. Because even though Chip complains about not getting anything done all of the time, he has the power to get things done and still chooses to not do anything.
Actually, sure, Mr. Roy was aware of the power they entrusted him with as manager of the rule. He could have offered an amendment to the rule on the floor to do whatever the hell he wanted to do, including rewrite the bill entirely. And it might have passed. The person they picked to send to the floor to represent their position, the Speaker's position, couldn't even be trusted to do it. No wonder we can't get anything done. I mean, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It would be funny if it weren't turning the world's greatest deliberative body into a circus. But they are.
Peanuts, get your peanuts here. Everyone knows it's not a circus unless you have peanuts and Republicans are in charge.
All they care about is silly censures, sham impeachments, and partisan brinkmanship. And this is not what the American people want. And come November, I believe there's going to be a reckoning around here. Anyone with 2 eyes and a brain can understand what's going on. Republicans cannot govern.
Fun fact, a brain and 2 eyes are apparently the only necessary qualifications to become a Republican congressman. But even then, there are exceptions. But now let's hear Chip Roy's emphatic retort to these slanderous allegations that he's a lame duck congressman.
Fact of the matter is, nobody in real America gives two
Go on.
rats' rear ends about whether or not someone votes on a rule, manages a rule, goes down to the floor, and then votes on a rule.
Yeah, Americans don't give 2 rats rear ends if we don't do our jobs. But if they don't do theirs, they're lazy leeches, suckling at the teat of Uncle Sam. Disgraceful.
Nobody in America cares to see the continued perpetuation of what this body, this Congress, has been doing to the American people for generations.
Oh, you mean nothing?
Racking up $34.5 trillion of debt, endangering the American people with wide open borders, and all of the stuff that this Congress has been doing endlessly.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. You meant the debt that your party continuously racks up and then does nothing about, and the border your party also continuously complains about, only to yet again do nothing about. I would offer you a shovel, sir, but you seem to be doing a great job already of digging your own grave.
When the American people hear us talk about, procedures and what we're doing here on the floor, they don't care. What they want is for their civil liberties to be protected. And the fact is, the most American people don't care about those procedures. They want to see the result.
Right. Still waiting on that.
So no apology. There's nothing written in the Bible. There's nothing written in the Constitution. There's nothing sacrosanct about how this place is supposed to operate, because what has been doing in this body for far too long is not working.
Exactly. There's nothing in the Bible about the sanctity of what we do here in Congress, and therefore it doesn't matter. What the hell is even the argument here, aside from the fact that Republicans clearly need to retake the part of the U.S. history exam on the separation of church and state? Chip, you're literally making McGovern's point for him.
It's just not. No matter who's in charge, no matter who's in the majority. Because this isn't about shirts and skins. The American people are sick of shirts and skins.
Chip, please keep your shirt on.
So I'm not going to apologize at all for taking steps to guarantee that we have 2 years instead of 5 years to protect the civil liberties of Americans. Because it's not about shirts and skins, it's about the American people.
Oh, right, it's about the American people. You mean the same American people whose will you tried to overturn by furiously texting Mark Meadows for evidence of election fraud in Trump's favor in the 2020 election? It's bad enough that you're not doing anything and ironically complaining about the partisan gridlock you're causing, but then you have the gall to claim that you care about the American people?
I think the American people do care that this Congress seems incapable of getting anything done at all. As I said at my outset, nearly 10 months before this committee, which all consequential legislation goes through, has reported a bill to the floor that has actually become law. I mean, I don't know, maybe people send you here to do nothing, but my constituents sent me here to actually help solve problems and get things done. I'm not asking the gentleman for an apology. I mean, I don't know why the gentleman wanted to be on this committee if he's not going to try to help move legislation to the floor, but that's the decision that your leadership has made. The gentleman can do whatever the heck he wants. I was just making an observation, and apparently I got under his skin.
These MAGA Republicans are all the same. They couldn't give a rat's rear end about anything other than padding their pockets and staying in power. It's borderline dereliction of duty and an outright lie to claim any MAGA Republican works on behalf of anyone but themselves. They're so utterly obstructionist because they don't want Biden to have any wins. And not only that, they don't want to pass any legislation that could potentially impact their donors or corporations or the myriad other interests they serve above the American people, including themselves. So hopefully, this hyper-individualism in the Republican Party will continue to tear them down from within and make it clear to voters this November who actually has their best interests at heart. You know what to do, folks. If you're sick of these lying Republican leeches, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to help us continue to call them out, and even though they don't need much help in this aspect, make absolute fools of them whenever we can. And I'm genuinely curious, do you think it's actually getting across to Republican voters that their party does not have any of their interests in mind at all? Or has the MAGA movement fully corrupted too many of them for them to actually realize they're essentially signing their own death warrants by voting for these people? I'd love to hear what you guys think, and be sure to share the video with friends and check out our Patreon to support the work we do here. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.